Your move.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtian YGO here, and today I'm coming at you with my Before You Buy for Libromancer. Now, in our Before You Buy series, guys, if you guys have been watching the channel for a little bit, you guys should already know more or less what we do on these. Essentially, where we take a look at each and every single new archetype coming out in the TCG, and we go ahead and analyze it, see 3 pros and 3 cons for each and every single archetype, just to see more or less what we think of it before you are able to go ahead and purchase it, just to get a real idea of what the deck will actually be capable of in the TCG. Now, for this episode, we have Libromancer, a deck that has a lot of hype, essentially just because of its artwork. I think it's really cool. Essentially, it's like a comic book come to life type thing. However, as far as its viability, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right before I get into the analysis. This is not gonna be a tier 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe rogue, not even deck as a pure variant. Now, in all Before You Buy episodes that we've done so far, we do analyze the pure variant of each and every single deck coming out. Now, if it has a stronger variant when paired up with a different deck, then that is a completely different story. But I do want to go ahead and analyze the individual deck as it is as a whole. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it with the pros. So the first thing I do want to go ahead and point out regarding this archetype is the field spell. Libromancer first appearance is absolutely amazing. So this card, what it allows you to do is on activation, you get to add a Libromancer monster from deck to your hand, which main deck Libromancer monsters do require for you to have a ritual in your hand, a ritual monster in your hand. It could be any ritual monster for the most part, but as long as you can reveal a ritual monster, you are able to go ahead and activate their effects, and then they get more consistency that way as well. But essentially, what first appearance allows you to do beyond that is during your main phase, you can ritual summon one Libromancer ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. You can only activate one Libromancer first appearance per turn. Now, I want you to go ahead and think about that effect and let me know what you guys think real quick. So essentially, the first thing I saw is that the ritual summoning effect is not a once per turn effect. It's not even a harder once per turn effect, soft once per turn. It does not say once per turn whatsoever. All it says you can activate one of the field spell once per turn, but essentially, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and just keep ritual summoning ritual Libromancer monsters from your hand continuously, which is absolutely incredible as far as you don't have to pay any type of cost to go ahead and do this. It's essentially free, and if Libromancer gets more support in the future, I think this is going to be a really cool deck to go ahead and look into. But for now, we're just going to be analyzing the cards that are going to be coming out of Battle of Chaos. Pro number 2 is that it has a very small initial engine. Essentially, it doesn't really have too many main deck monsters where you have to play a lot of different things such as that. So why is that really a benefit? Essentially, it is a huge benefit to any deck that can go ahead and do this and still be consistent, because you're able to go ahead and play hand traps up the wazoo. Take a deck like, of course, using my prior knowledge, take a deck like Trickstar, right? Its main engine is extremely small, but you're able to play so many hand traps because it's such a consistent archetype. Again, back in 2018, 2017. So Libromancer has that same style feel where its monster effects, essentially all its engine is very small, so you are able to play cards like Ash Blossom, Pankard Tops. Diviner of the Herald is fantastic in this deck as well, because it does let you search a ritual spell in the event that you do not have access to your ritual spell. Again, more consistency cards like Pot of Extravagance, Imperm. Again, more consistency, having E-Telly with your Psychic level 3 Geek Boy, just having more consistency hand traps as well. You can just make this the most consistent deck as possible, which leads me on to our pro number 3. So the third pro I gotta say with this, guys, is that it's extremely consistent deck. I've been playing this deck for, again, more or less the past week or so, and I've very rarely bricked with it, which is actually really good to see, at least in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, where we know that decks, duels are more or less won in the first or second turn. So that's really something that's really amazing, again, to look forward to as well. Being able to play Emergency Teleport at 3, not have it break, still be able to play cards like Diviner of the Herald, where you don't really need your normal summon as well for this deck, is absolutely just amazing. And then you can go ahead and either link this off or do whatever it is that you need with it, but I just think it gives it so much more versatility with this deck overall. And those are going to be the main 3 pros that I have to say for this deck. Now on to the cons. Now on to the fun stuff, which is the cons of this deck. Again, as I said in the very beginning of the video, I do not see this deck doing very well, and this is why. Con number 1, it relies way too heavily on having a ritual monster in your hand in order to activate its other main deck monsters effects. As you see with Geek Boy, reveal a ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. Again with Libromancer Girl, reveal a ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card. Again with Libromancer Agent, reveal a ritual monster, special summon this card from your hand. It's very reliant on having a ritual monster in your hand, and the thing is with these ritual monsters, which essentially is something that I do want to get into my next con, is that the ritual monsters themselves don't do anything. Unfortunately, and that's gonna be my second con on the deck, is that okay, so let's take Doombroker of the two Libromancer rituals. Let's take Doombroker, the more powerful one, right? So you can ritual summon this card using a Libromancer card, yada yada yada. If this card is ritual summoned onto the field, it can attack directly. You can use the effect of the following effects of Doombreaker once per turn. Once during your main phase, you can set one Libromancer trap card directly from your deck. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. No interruption whatsoever. All it does is it can attack directly, which 2500, it's really nice, and against a Dinorphia deck, I think it would be quite successful if you're going second. Again, however, Dinorphia would just turn this effect off like this real quick, and it doesn't interact with your opponent at all. So that's a big sign of concern, I would say, with this deck, is that it doesn't do anything as far as interruptions with your opponent. And let's even look at the other ritual monster fire starters. So essentially, this card gains 200 attack and defense each time your opponent activates a card or effect while you control this card with less than 3000 attack in the monster zone. So it doesn't do anything, because what it does is it gets up to 3000 attack and defense, which is cool. But if I have a Man-Eater bug set and I flip it face up, it's gonna get destroyed. There's no protection, no anything. Not even the field spell grants it protection either. If granted protection, I say okay, maybe it has a little bit more viability as far as that goes, but it doesn't do anything during your opponent's turn, and that's really the second con of this deck, is that it doesn't have any interruptions, natural interruptions I should say, when trying to combat your opponent. So essentially you're playing with what you have here, and what you have here on your side of the field, it gains attack and sets trap cards. And that leads me on to my third con, essentially, with this deck, is that the trap card that you're supposed to be setting with Libromancer Doombroker, sorry, is when your opponent activates a card or effect, target a Libromancer or ritual monster you control, return to the hand, and if you do, negate the activated effect. Then you can special summon one Libromancer monster from your hand or graveyard. Okay, it's not the worst trap in the world. It's not a counter trap, so it loses to it's a lower spell speed, which really in this deck matters quite a bit, especially when this card says negate the activated effect. So I think if this card would have been a counter trap card, again, it would have had a lot more viability. The fact that it's a normal trap card really just brings down what this card is really able to do, and what this deck is really able to do overall. As far as my cons goes, again, pros is a very consistent deck that doesn't do anything. And that's a really big issue. So essentially, I do see this deck having a little bit of potential moving forward. I think that ritual summoning, as we saw with Drytrons, is not a bad strategy overall. I think it can be actually very good when done correctly. So this is a nice deck. Don't get me wrong, it'll be super fun, a very affordable deck. Pretty sure you can get this entire thing for like, well, without the ashes and the imperms, things like that, for like 40 bucks. I wouldn't pick this up immediately at sneak peek. I would go ahead and wait for the price to drop for it to open up a few more boxes. However, it is something that I do want to go ahead and let you guys know ahead of time. I do not see this deck doing extremely well in the competitive format. Again, as a pure variant, if you want to mix it with something else, then that's something you can potentially go ahead and give it a shot as well. Maybe mix it with Drytron. You know, who knows? That's actually an awful idea. But again, you never know, I'm just talking speculation here. But that's pretty much going to be it for my Before You Buy for the Libromancer deck. Again, I do not see this deck doing very well in a competitive format, but I do see it being a fun little deck to go ahead and teach someone how to ritual summon, things like that, and so on and so forth. So if you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like down below, comment down below what your favorite deck coming out of Battle of Chaos is. Now make sure to go ahead and do a quick review or do another deck profile on it once I actually be able to test it more with other archetypes, as well as getting the best possible deck for you guys as well. But again, if you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one.